October 9th, I communicated once again with Los Angeles County Animal Care and Control about a man with 2 dogs who he insists on having off-leash in Ladera Park, despite me and many others telling him time and again, including park employees, that he needs to leash his dogs. I've been communicating via email, phone call with Animal Care and Control about him. I've communicated when they can actually find him and walking the dogs in the park, and to date nothing's been done. The best I've been told is that they've just not been able to ever find him or see him, although I've seen him around the same time I told them many times over. On October 9th, once again, I saw this man walking dogs off leash. I took video. I sent an email to Animal Care and Control, copying as many people as have been involved in this conversation. I got an immediate out of office, so I guess that was Indigenous Peoples Day. And on the 10th, I responded again saying, I see I got out of office replies. I'm making you aware that I sent this message. 2 weeks later, the incident I'm about to describe involving my wife took place. This is the email I sent recounting the incident to Animal Care and Control. Sent this on 10/10. No response. Predictable, since you allowed a dog owner who unleashed a Rottweiler to kill our last dog to keep their dog despite repeated attacks. On Tuesday, 10/24, my wife captured this video of the same menace, this irresponsible dog owner with his unleashed dogs. Your department has failed to address for over a year. Angered that my wife recorded his repeated crime, this irresponsible dog owner proceeded to harass my wife, walking his Akitas to block her exit from the park as she tried multiple paths. Finally, she got out of the park, panicked and carrying our 9-pound Maltese mix. She hurriedly walked home. As she arrived at our home, the irresponsible dog-owning menace drove by, having followed her from the park to our home, and yelled from his truck, "That's where she lives."
Oh my God!
My wife called me, crying and traumatized. I told her I would be right home. In the meantime, I called your department, recounted the story, and let the representative know that he was back in the park and that either your department would address this issue immediately or I would. When my wife called the sheriff's department, they explained that a man with 2 large dogs following her home and making a point to tell her that he knows where she lives is not a threat. It is. And I don't give a damn what any statute says. I got home and went to Ladera Park, armed with a bat and a taser. I confronted the man. I'm happy to share the blow-by-blow if you'd like, and made it clear that he was 1, going to leash those motherfucking dogs, 2, never going to threaten or bother my wife again. We went back and forth about that. Again, I've documented in detail and am happy to share. And I let him know that I will neutralize any threat to my family, period. A brother crossed the street to be a peacemaker, saying it ain't worth it. I stood down for a moment. Then, as he climbed into the driver's seat of his harassment mobile, the menace said, "Wait till I get back." I asked, yelling, "Get back to do what?" He responded, "You'll see," closed his door, and started his engine. Where I'm from, that's another threat. So I took that bat and shattered that back window of his truck for him. I went back today to capture this image for posterity. Interestingly, though I stood there as he stopped and turned his truck around, he chose not to follow me home. Imagine that. Real tough guy. I got home, called the sheriff's department as they asked Daphne to have me do, and recounted this entire saga in detail. The deputy asked if I knew I'd confessed to vandalism on a recorded line. I clarified. I called to tell you what I did. I ain't hiding. See, unlike every other party in this story, aside from my wife and 9-pound dog, I fully accept that every inaction or action carries with it consequences. Where law and justice diverge, I choose justice, and I face any and all consequences with my head held high. I trust I have made myself clear to Mr. Following Women Home coward-ass terrorist, and I trust I have now made myself clear to your department. I will not be terrorized by irresponsible dog owners. So you can address animal care and control in this community, or I will. Your choice. Also, you're welcome. Respectfully, Orlando Bishop, responsible dog owner, loving husband and father, protector of this home, taxpayer, Batman.